I'm a big music fan, and this is a real treat for me. Hopefully it's a treat for you guys. Bringing to the stage is a legendary music icon, Darryl McDaniels, who first impacted the world over 30 years ago. First rap group to grace the cover of Rolling Stone, first rap group to go on MTV, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. Run DMC changed music, changed culture, changed fashion, changed language, and made American history. It'd be really hard to overstate Run DMC's influence on popular culture. 30 million records later, Darryl McDaniels, DMC, still continues to create, inspire, and motivate. It is an awesome privilege to welcome Darryl McDaniels. How's it going, man?
Good, good. 1, 2, 1, 2.
So Darryl, man, this is, like I said, this is a real treat and a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here, y'all. Thank you.
The idea is, you know, you've lived such an amazing life, your career.
We have. We came up together.
Oh, we did?
We came up together. Yes, we have.
Okay, great.
Because people always say, man, I grew up, but you know, we grew up together. I was growing too.
Well, I'm from Queens, so.
Queens in the house.
Queens in the house. Who else here from New York? Bronx?
Bronx in the house.
Right.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Look, you see how these guys dress?
I know, incredible. That's crazy.
So, I want to, I guess take everyone here. Not everyone here is a hip hop head, but of course everyone's familiar with Run DMC. But I want to, take from the beginning here to kind of tell us how did Run DMC start?
It was 1982. I was going to Rice High School. I was a class in 1982. Me and Run, we went to the same Catholic school together, but we was never in the same class. I was always in a smart class. He was always in the other class. So we knew each other, but it wasn't until probably, I would say, 8th grade that we started hanging out. What had happened was, we had one basketball room in the schoolyard at the Catholic school we went to, St. Pascal Baylon. And in 8th grade, you know how students come to your school out of nowhere and it bugs you out? You know what I'm saying? Because you go from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade with everybody you knew. But there was always those years, there's this new student in the 5th grade, and the new student said it was weird. So this guy named David McEachin came to our school in 8th grade. And he was like 8 feet tall. And he dunked and broke the rim. So now the little Catholic school kids have nowhere to play basketball because we wasn't going to the public park because that's where we got bullied and picked on and teased because we went to Catholic school.
Because you had the uniform on?
Yeah, because you got the uniform on and you got a book bag that says St. Pascal Baylon. So, automatically it's over. It's not under cover no more.
So we got that in common. I went to Catholic school.
All right.
Too,
For sure. Man, we got a lot in common. So make a long story short, my mother and father put a basketball room in my backyard. So the kids was able to come over to my house after school and play basketball. One particular day, Joseph Simmons came over by himself. We played basketball, and I let him in the house to get some water, and he saw me and my brother's turntable set up. And he was like, yo, do you do that? And I said, no, because it was my private thing that I did, to be a DJ and to be an MC and to be a break dancer was something that a lot of the young people in New York City at the time pretended to be like those guys. So I said no, because I didn't want Run to know my secret. But then he said, well, my brother's name is Russell Rush, and he manages Curtis Blow. And Russell was influential on starting the whole business of hip-hop. But before Rap Records was made, Russell was just a manager of all the DJs. So to make a long story short, we would play basketball for a shorter time and go in the basement and DJ before my mother and father came home. And one particular day, he started looking around the basement. And for all of you out there, there's always something that you have, a gift, a skill, a talent, or even a hobby that was given to you for a bigger purpose than you even know about it. So 3 things happened to me that made Run say, I'm gonna form this group. He was originally gonna be a solo artist, but he saw these three things in me. He was like, he picked up my school books and he was like, Darryl, you get grades like this? And I was a straight A student, A+++++, 5 and 6 stars on the forehead,
We got
always
that in
on
common
honor
too,
roll,
man.
yeah. So he was like, you get grades like this? And I was like, yeah, that's what I do. And then he started seeing the rhymes. I was writing raps for me, not to be on no record. That was Rapper's Delight, that was Grandmaster Flash, that was Curtis Blow, that was the guys that were making hip hop songs. They do that. I'm just pretending to be like that. So he saw my rhymes and he said, Darryl, you wrote these rhymes? And I was like, yeah, that's what I do. And the secret to my power was I had a huge comic book collection. Like my comic book collection filled this room. And he looked around, he was like, all these comic books are yours? And I was like, yeah. And he looked at me and said, 1979, whenever my brother lets me make a record, I'm putting you in my group. So fast forward. Jam Master Jay, Jason Mizell, who later became our DJ, him and Run went to the same high school. I went to an all-boys Catholic high school in Harlem called Rice High School. And when I got to Rice High School, I started to hear, because of all the kids that were living in the Bronx and Harlem, I started hearing all the hip-hop that was created before the first rap record, Rapper's Delight. I was hearing hip-hop before anybody even thought about putting it on a record. So it changed my writing style. So 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, I sent out my resumes to all the colleges. I get accepted to St. John's University. Yeah. So I run home and I write a rhyme about it. I'm DMC, in the place to be. I'm going to St. John's University. And since kindergarten I acquired the knowledge, after 12th grade I'm going straight to college, right? So I wrote a rhyme because I was happy, you know. Yeah. I was proud I made it to college. Yeah, and that was my focus. I'm going to college. You know what I'm saying? Now remember, this hip hop thing is just a hobby, something I do on the side. That was in June of '82. In August of '82, the phone rings. And it was Joseph Simmons. Yo, D, huh? What's up? Remember 4 years ago when I said whenever I get a chance to make a record? I was like, oh, yeah? He was like, grab your school books, because that's where I had all my rhymes. We're going to the studio to make a record. So we went and made It's Like That. Wow. And Sucker Seas.
The first song.
The first song we ever made. It was one single, and it was a national hit. So then we did another single called Hard Times, and the B-side was Jam Master Jay, because we had to introduce Jason Mizell as our DJ, because the group was Run DMC, but every time we showed up somewhere, it was 3 people. So the crowd was, okay, that's Run, that's D, who the hell is that guy back there? Or, okay, that's Run, that's D, who's M, who's C, so it was all over the place, so we had to make a record about Jay. Yeah. So after we did our first 2 singles, it was very successful. Russell gets the idea, y'all gonna make an album. And we did that first album. It was the first album to go gold. And we was the first rap group to get on MTV.
You make it
and
sound
that
so
was
easy. That's awesome. But when in there, like, you did, you know, the first singles and then, of course, the album. But like, at what point did you know, wow, this is, like, we made it? Was there one point in your career, like, you heard a song on the radio or you realized that this is taking off?
It wasn't until probably the 3rd album, Raising Hell, when we did Walk This Way.
Okay, great segue, because that's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, we did a remake of an old Aerosmith song called Walk This Way in 1986.
Yeah. I think I heard it.
And that was the thing that changed. It didn't just change music, it changed everything.
It was like the first mashup, basically.
Yeah, people say in the video when Steven Tyler takes the mic stand and knocks down the wall that was separating us, they say, yo, D, that didn't just happen in the video, that happened to the world. Yeah. And that was the moment that I realized, oh man, this is how Mick Jagger must feel. Because prior to that, you know, for anybody, whatever you do in life, whatever your job is positioned, whatever it is that you're doing, you know, as your career or occupation, or even because you love it, there's always going to be obstacles and doubters. Yep. So after our first single was successful, hip-hop's a fad, It ain't gonna last. After our second single was successful, hip hop's a fad, it ain't gonna last. After the first album went gold, it ain't gonna last. After the second album went platinum, it ain't gonna last. And then when Raising Hell went triple platinum, they still didn't believe in it. Yeah. So, going back to you, the easy thing about it was we had a purpose in our creativity. We wanted to create music that was not going to just impress our 16 and 17-year-old friends. We were young people who had high enthusiasm and a vision about who we were. We wanted the grown-ups to look at us and say, do you hear and see what these young people are doing? And it is good. The reason why Run DMC was able to do what we did, our music was good. It was positive, it was inspirational, it was motivational. We knew that was a stronger force than rhyming about negativity. Like a lot of hip hop talks about negative things, but they glorify it like it's good to do. We was never preachy. I never was in a gang. I don't want to go to jail because I like my freedom. And I don't want to get shot because it hurts. So I talked about school and family, and Run DMC, we always had a positive message, and our whole message was, whatever it is that you could do, even if you can't rap like us, we wanted to make music that was going to make the listener feel, I'm going to go do the thing that I want to do. And that was the whole basis of hip-hop that got lost once hip-hop became a successful business.
Yeah, definitely. But in terms of like taking it and making it that, the rock, like mixing the rock side of that.
Well,
you're the king of rock, right?
Yeah, I'm the king of rock. Not the king of rap. Who wants to be the king of rap? Y'all see rap nowadays, right? It's negative, it's disrespectful. All they do is fight on Twitter, like it's crazy. So I didn't want to be that. But the reason why I said I was the king of rock, before hip-hop, before hip-hop came over the bridge from the Bronx in like 70, it came into Queens. I started noticing it in like probably 78. But before that, I was a little kid growing up in Queens, New York, and 1970s radio profoundly did something to me as a person. Now, when I was little, all the little black kids was in the Jackson 5. They wanted afros. Everybody wanted to be Michael. Yeah. You know, remember that? Yeah. Michael was just this phenomenon. Afro and this and that, and he was incredible. And the high heels and the bell bottoms and stuff like that. And then some of the older folks, they was into James Brown and Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye and Isaac Hayes and all of that. Me as a little kid, I cared nothing about Black Power because there was something about the rock songs and the folk rock songs that was on radio.
Folk rock? Folk rock songs.
Harry Chapin, Jim Croce, Joni Mitchell, the rock groups like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Elton John and all that. Every time I would hear Crosby, Stills, Young and Nash, and I would hear John Fogerty and Creedence Clearwater Revival, as a little kid, it would make me stop what I was doing. Now, I don't know if it was the sound of the guitars, but it was also what they were saying. A lot of the folk rock and the rock songs, even though they had their records about love and sex, the majority of it was about what was going on socially in the world, the Vietnam War, political things. So as a good student, I gravitated towards that. And I was in the comic books, so R&B, and y'all remember growing up when disco came out, it was phenomenal, but all of y'all OGs in here remember when people started saying, disco sucks, right? Remember that? So there was a time where I started noticing the R&B records had bass lines and the disco records had all this music. The rock songs had loud guitars, and they had louder drums. So rock and roll was kind of like the hope to me. So that, made me gravitate toward rock and roll. The subject matter, the storytelling, it was educational. When Neil Young did the song about the soldiers killing the students at Kent University, and Bob Dylan and John Lennon and all of these guys and John Fogerty, talked Fortunate Son. They were just making records that, I know what presidents do. I'm a little kid. So it was something that was part of who I was as an individual.
Yeah.
I had no idea that just by me liking that would set me up.
See, I never would guess like
12 years
those
later,
are your inspirations.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, when I got on the microphone, I don't want to be the king of these rapper guys. I ain't worried about Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder. I'm going for Elvis' throat. I want to move Mick Jagger off the stage. You know, so you know what I'm saying? So as a little kid, I wanted to be and beat those guys and not anybody else.
Well, it's a nice thing you just said that, because we just had, where's Michael Cook? Yeah, you said before, be remarkable, be something different, right?
Yep,
Step outside,
exactly.
and that's when I think of, you know, and that's why we invited you here. I mean, you guys created a new genre, and it's not only just the music, it's the branding, right? So we've got retail, we've got creative design people here. The Run DMC logo.
The logo, yes.
I mean, I never would have thought back in the day that you would see little kids wearing Run DMC onesies nowadays.
I mean,
it's like a fashion
I never
statement.
thought that neither. Like, it's crazy. You know, people say there's 3 iconic brands right at the top: Coca-Cola, McDaniels, and Run DMC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
It's
yes,
true.
really?
Yeah, it is. So
That's crazy.
so you're into comics, you're into that. Were you involved with the logo and the brand?
Yeah, everything that we present.
Was it all as well thought out, or is that it just came together that way?
Well, the well thought out it wasn't like it took us, 3 months to get it together. The well thought was the intention. We wanted everything to be simple and relatable to everybody. We didn't want a logo that was just going to mean hip hop. We didn't want a logo that was just going to mean black people. We didn't want a logo that just meant music. We wanted a logo, as it is doing today, that meant everybody. And even more importantly, when you wear it, it's not really just about Run DMC. It's about the things we represent.
Yeah.
Run DMC, you see Run DMC thing? It's good. I like that. It's good because we was always positive. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of logos you say, oh, no, I like it, but I can't let nobody know I like it. You know what I'm saying? So the Run DMC, we wanted to have a universal a relatability and a universal attraction for everybody, from the 3-year-old kid to the 80-year-old person, for the girls, women, boys, everybody across the board. Because that's what our music, our music represented all those things. Our music represented families. Think about it like this. You got this thing called gangster rap, and you got all this negativity going on. Wyclef Jean said, DMC is the only MC that could rap about St. John's University, a pair of Adidas sneakers, chicken and collard greens, and even Christmas, and make it gangster. So we
Christmas in Hollis.
Christmas in Hollis. So when
I used to ride around my family looking at Christmas lights in Queens, and we used to listen to Christmas in Hollis.
For sure.
Yeah.
We still do that.
Still do that,
you go over to Howard Beach.
Howard Beach.
The houses over there.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Everybody still do that.
Yeah.
So Run DMC, we didn't want a logo that was us. Like, look at me, look at me. You know what I'm saying? We wanted somebody that could wear this. Somebody could not. It wasn't even about wearing. We had no idea our shoots was. We wanted somebody. If you was going to display this logo or even see it, when you saw it, we wanted you to be able to feel in your own world what we were feeling, and we was able to brand ourselves that way because our presentations were powerful, but they weren't scary. Our music was hard. Our music was strong, but it was like, it was, you didn't have to fear it. So the basic thing was, we don't need a picture of anything. We don't need a lightning bolt. We don't need mountains and fire, volcanoes, things. We just need to tell the people who we are. Originally, though, it was Run DMC in the bars flat all the way across. And then Say Adams at Def Jam Records said, nah, that's not. Now, if it was Run DMC like that, it wouldn't have been as attractive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when Say moved us on top of each other, it became something that was very powerful and remarkable.
Sure, yeah. So you touched on the Adidas. I mean, as far as I know, and there could be somebody else, but you guys were pretty much the first group out there that were talking, talking about a brand.
Yep.
And so how did
we was the first non-athletic entity to get an official endorsement deal with a major apparel company.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yes.
So tell us about the backstory with My Adidas.
Okay, the backstory of My Adidas is basically kind of weird. And when we was growing up in our neighborhood, there was this doctor in our neighborhood. There was a neighborhood doctor. He was named Dr. Dees. And he was a neighborhood doctor. Remember, it was the time, when you was little, you went to the doctor's house before you even went to the clinic or to the hospital, whatever. You go to the neighbor. You're going to Dr. Dees' house. Every time you get a sick, you get a cold earache. But Dr. Dees was a very well-respected individual in the neighborhood. And once a week, he would put out these newsletters, diet, diabetes, whatever it was, nutrition, cancer, everything. So one particular week, he put out a newsletter that said felon shoes. And in this, he said, do you see those young boys? Stand up, guys. Y'all guys, stand up. Stand up.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I need y'all for this demonstration. Dr. Dees basically said, when you see the young people on the street corners dressed like these dudes, these are the problems of our community.
But these guys actually are problems, too, at the event.
Yeah, they wicked. So we kind of took that personally because it was one of those don't judge the book by its cover thing. Now, he was partially right because the first thing a drug dealer would do when they got some money was go buy new sneakers and jewelry and new cars and all that. But Dr. Dees didn't realize that on that street corner was me, I went to St. John's University, and I rock Adidas. And my friend worked 3 jobs. He was a young individual. He didn't sell drugs. He didn't rob houses. He worked 3 jobs to get his new sneakers. You know what I'm saying? And his little tiny gold chain. Yeah. So when Russell came up with the idea to do the My Adidas song, I wanted to write a record that was going to be kind of like the voice for all the young people who were just getting considered, something negative just because of the way they look. So when I wrote, I wanted to say, okay, I'm in my Adidas on a street corner, but my Adidas stepped on stage. Run DMC was the only hip-hop group to play the original Live Aid. So I took it personally. Dr. Dees, I stepped on stage at Live Aid. All the people gave and the poor got paid. And out of speakers, I do speak. I wear my sneakers, but I'm not a sneak. My Adidas touched the sand of a foreign land. We was going over to China, we was going over to Russia. With mic in hand, I took command. My Adidas indeed. Close as can be. We make a mean team, my Adidas and me. We get around together, we're down forever, and we won't be had when worn in bad weather, my Adidas. So I wanted to tell Dr. Dees why I was wearing these sneakers. So Adidas heard about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What happened when Adidas heard about it?
Adidas heard about the record. They're sitting over. Adidas America was located, it still is in Los Angeles, California. Mm-hmm. So all across the nation, because we made this record, it wasn't like Adidas came to us and said, make us an Adidas song, and it happened. No, we didn't even care about Adidas. We made a record about the sneakers because we loved them. A couple of months later, they heard about it, and they was doing, y'all work with companies and stuff, so every week they have their meeting. You have your little meeting, and the guy has the chart up to see what's selling and what place is not doing good. So they're scratching their heads. They can't understand at the time, why in the hell is this superstar sneaker selling off the wall? They can't even write the sales of this sneaker on the graphs in the meeting. So the rumor has it was an intern there. Dude, you don't know? Run DMC made a record about their sneakers. The hip hop. They was like, oh, hold up, slow down. Is this true? What's going on? Excuse me, young man. First of all, what the hell is hip-hop? And what the hell is a Run DMC? So the guy told him what was up. So Adidas was slick. We was playing Madison Square Garden. So Adidas, the representative, the head dude of Adidas was a man named Angelo Anastasio. He's the head guy of Adidas America. He calls and tries to nonchalantly goes, yeah, I'm a fan of Run DMC. I'm with Adidas. Could I get tickets? So he's like, yeah, matter of fact, we'll give you some backstage passes. So he comes, he's standing on the side of the stage We play in Madison Square Garden, Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Eric B. and Rakim. Big shout out to the Beastie Boys. And it got to the part in the show where Run says, D, take it off. And I took it off. And he said, D, hold it up. And I held my sneaker up. And this bugged me out. 29,000 people in the garden held up their new sneakers. And then Run said, yo, D, what is it? And I said, Adidas. When we did the record, and Angelo runs back to Adidas, runs back to the office. It's true. It's true. It's really happening. So about a week later, they called and said they was going to give us $1 million sponsorship deal, free Adidas for life. They was going to sponsor the tour, and that was the catalyst of creating this whole new marketable business model. And
I was in Adidas's. They've got a great store in New York City, right on Houston Street.
Yes,
there.
yes.
I was just near there. Now I see they have like a Pharrell Williams sneaker.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're continuing
so
those
you know, my joke is I speak at a lot of middle schools and high schools now, and a lot of kids sit there. He's old school. You know, he's old school, and so he used to. I said, hold on, what? I used to what? Hold up. Yeah, because Yeezys are cool. And I go, hold up. No curls, no braids, peasy head, and still get paid. I am the reason why Yeezys can get made. And the whole gym will go, oh my God. And a lot of kids know because of their parents. They go, yeah, it's true, it's true. So we did something that we had no idea. We wasn't even thinking about doing that. But, you know, we did it because it
when
was
you look at those types of partnerships now, Pharrell and Kanye,
right.
You look
and
back, what you know now,
right.
If you could take that back, what would you have changed differently? From starting in the career, record deals, licensing.
Right. I don't think I would want to change anything because we are part of history.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. We are part of history. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I would, if I was thinking about it in that way at the time, Run DMC would have made our own damn sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, but this was even before Jordan took off. This was even before Jordan took off. People don't know the true story. Before Jordan went to Nike, he wanted to roll with Adidas because of what Run DMC meant and what we was doing. He went to Adidas, and Adidas told him no. But, you know, it's crazy. Yeah. I'd have said, yes, Michael Jordan. But, you know, he wasn't Michael yet, but Michael wanted to come to Adidas. So for us, the beautiful thing is we still have that relationship with Adidas forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like every time a Pharrell comes out or Yeezy comes out, even if somebody does a deal, you know, Nike be doing their stuff, the first people they think about, and not even just thinking about us, the one event that they think about is what Run DMC Adidas did because Run DMC made this song. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's me and LL Cool J was just talking about that. You know, when you're making history, you do two things. You present yourself as an example for other people to follow and learn from. I always tell kids, don't say you want to be like Mike. Don't say you want to be like DMC. I tell the girls, don't say you want to be like Rihanna and J-Lo. You learn from them. You learn what they did right, and you learn what they did wrong. But when you come into anything, I don't care what it is, music, business, arts, crafts, design, automobile making, don't come just to be part of the game. Come to bring something to the game. And I think that's what Run DMC, we made a record, we did something, we did the sneaker thing. Everything we did at every level. We was the first to be on MTV, first to go gold, first to go platinum, first on the cover of Rolling Stone, this and that. That's because we did it right. You know what I'm saying? We did it right. Your presentation, your demonstration, and your execution has to be sincere. Even if you're, a lot of people get mad at people and they say, I want to be a rock star, or I want to be famous, or, I want to make this clothing company to get money. That's a cool thing. Don't be mad at that, but I'm saying you can do that. But don't disrespect who you are, and don't disrespect people out there that's looking at you. Yeah. And I think Run DMC, we was able to do that. When you saw Run DMC as big as we are, Now, and even back then, when you see Run DMC or you hear anything about the Run DMC brand, you don't see celebrity. You see yourself 9 times out of 10. Like the guy that was just sitting here, I took a picture. Yeah, man, when I was going, me and my brother, man, you know, Halloween's coming around. So what that means for me is this. When I leave my house and I see somebody, DMC, guess who I'm going to be tonight? When I get to the market, guess who? You're going to be Run DMC. So, you know, having that appeal, having that feel on the world, that's a powerful thing. And I think that's what the whole significance of the Run DMC thing. We showed that it's possible to do things in any industry, any business, in any art form, or any form of presentation or creativity. We show that as complete as you think it is, there's still something that can be done new or even something done in a different way. Right. We really didn't do nothing. We went and made Aerosmith Wreck It Over. And it was it. Like, we didn't write this new rock song. But the beautiful thing about that is, I think if Run DMC would have made Aerosmith's record Walk This Way by ourselves, it would have been cool, but it wouldn't have been as powerful. The fact that we did it with them, we paid homage, we showed where it came from. People respect that. You know what I'm saying? When the record first came out.
I mean, the truth is you basically made them relevant again at that point, right? Because
we let y'all say that. I mean, no, journalists say it, historians say it. And the thing with Aerosmith, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry in the band, they admit it. It was the management. Because, you know, it's a brand. When Aerosmith, after Walk This Way came out, and Aerosmith started dropping all the new music and stuff like that, even to this day, there's always that one journalist at the press conference when they're about to tour release a record. Excuse me, is it true that Run DMC saved your careers? So they got that question so much, they would do their press conferences, and their PR and the management would announce, okay, Steve and Joe are going to do this press conference, but if there's any Run DMC questions, it's over. But it was a good thing. Like, people say we did that for Aerosmith, but look what they did for us.
It's true, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So we only have a few minutes left here, and I want to talk about what you've been up to recently, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about that. You've been pretty open. Your most recent book, talked about some of challenges you faced personally in your life.
Yes. My book is called 10 Ways Not to Commit Suicide.
Yeah. So you're very open talking about dealing with mental health and wellness,
right.
And especially in a year where, from a musician standpoint, with Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington.
Chester killed himself on Chris Cornell's birthday.
I know, yeah. So, I mean, it's public out there. So you've, been Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and all over the world and the top. What's your feeling on that, nowadays? And I guess tell the audience kind of about your book and a lot of the speaking engagements you've been giving on that.
I did the book not because of all the celebrities that's committing suicide. I did the book because right before all of this, right before Chris and right before Chester, in 1993, I woke up one day and life was good. Master J was still alive.
Yeah.
Run DMC, Pete Rock had produced Down with the King for us, which put us back on the charts, put us to number 1. Run DMC so good that when we released a record in 1993, the Spice Girls was on the UK charts at number 1 for 22 weeks. We put out a new record. Guess who kicked the Spice Girls out of number 1? Run DMC did. Yeah. So right when all these good things happened, I woke up one day and wanted to kill myself. I did not want to live no more. And I sat there and I said, okay, I'm Darryl McDaniels from Hollis, Queens, New York. Right from the band is my mother and father. Alfred's my brother. Run and Jay are my friends. We made one record, it was a hit. We made another record, it was a hit. And I looked at my life all the way up to that point, and I didn't know what it was. And I became an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical, spiritual wreck. And I was about to kill myself. And before I was going to kill myself, I said, if I die tomorrow, people know the Run DMC story. There's 2 books on us behind the music. You could Wikipedia. You can find out about what Run J and did, Run J and D did. But I said, if I die tomorrow, people know the DMC King of Rock dude. But nobody knows the little boy Darryl, who's just a normal person like all the other little kids and all the other people in the world. So I said, just in case I do jump tomorrow, I want to leave something here that's not about how good I am on the microphone. So I called my mom's up, and I was going to say, I didn't say, hey, Mom, I'm going to kill myself, so I need to know. I said, Mom, I'm writing a book, and I know my birthday's May 31st, 1964. But just to make it a little more interesting for the reader, I need to know how much I weigh, what time I was born, what hospital. So she told me those 3 things, hung up the phone. An hour goes by, she calls back with my father. Now, I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical wreck that's about to kill herself. They go, hey, son, hey, Dad, what's up? We have something else to tell you. So I go, okay, shoot. I was 35 years old. They go, well, you was a month old when we brought you home and you're adopted, but we love you, bye. So, I'm a good student. I know what the word adoption means. But all these emotions came through me, and then I realized that when it comes to mental health, there's nothing wrong with a person saying, all of these years, there's nothing wrong with the person saying, yo, I want to kill myself. What's been wrong all these years is how we react to that. They're telling us how they feel. Our lives are about feeling. I don't get mad at you when you say, I'm feeling under the weather today. I don't get mad at you when you say, I'm feeling a little tired today. I don't get mad at you when you say, I feel sleepy. I don't get mad at you when you say, I feel hungry. I don't even get mad at him when he says, I feel good today, $1 million. But the way we respond to those individuals, because that's what happened to me. I don't want to live no more. So Run Jay and everybody around me, why are you going to say that, D? Then they tell you 2 things. Don't say that, and you shouldn't say that. But there's nothing else I can say because I feel that way. So what had happened to me was my wife's best friend's friend on her block had an argument with a kid. The kid was 11 years old. Typical mother-father argument. Mother-son argument. Yeah. He storms out the house. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. 3:30, they can't find him. 4:30, they can't find him. 7:30, they can't find him. 8:30, now it's 10:30. So the parents is like, call all the motherfucking kids in the room, sit down. Yo, if there's a secret hideaway that y'all have, y'all gotta let us know because it's getting serious now. So this one, I know where he might be. We have a secret. They go to the secret hideaway case and find a kid hanging there. So I wrote the book not because DMC was suicidal and I'm any special. Think about all the little kids with those feelings of anxiety and low self-esteem. Think about the plumber and the doctors and the lawyers, the normal, everyday people. My book isn't a celebrity book saying I'm special because I had it. My book is an everyday thing because what I realize is this in life is 2 things. Whatever it is that we're going through, once I don't mean for it to rhyme either. When you remove the guilt and the shame, you remove the pain. And on another note, if you don't express how you feel, whether good or bad, you never heal. So if you remove guilt and shame, you remove the pain. And if you express how you feel, whether good or bad, you'll never heal. So I wanted to put all of this out there so people could do this. I put my story out there, and every day, since the day I started telling people, yo, DMC, what's up with you? Why you ain't on Run's house? Because I ain't on TV, right? Me and Run don't have a beef. Jam Master Jay got shot and killed after that phone call, after I found out that I was adopted. Jam Master Jay got shot and killed. So now I'm really suicidal and depressed. But what happened to me was, yo, DMC, what's up with you? Well, I just got out of rehab. Huh? What's up with that? And I would tell people that. And immediately they would go, yo, DMC, could you come talk to my father? Could you come talk to my mother? Could you come talk to my brother? When I revealed that, yeah, I'm an adopted guy that found out that he was a foster kid, and I found out that I was adopted at age 35. What's that about? I would tell my story. Grown-ups telling me, this is a funny joke. This white family in Jersey, can you please come talk to our 7-year-old daughter? We just told her she was adopted, and she's going through it. Set change. DMC, the rapper, is in the house with a little 7-year-old girl looking at me like this. So it's tricky, man. But when I revealed, now listen, this has nothing to do with age. I'm 50, I found out I was adopted at 35. When I got out of rehab, it was about 10 years after that. So I'm sitting there 45 years old talking to the 7-year-old girl. It's not about age, it's not about race, it's not about religion, it's about how we feel. She finally got to see somebody that was feeling like her, so she didn't feel alone no more. So I wanted the world to know that, look, Chester felt alone. Chris felt alone. They felt that there was nobody on this earth that could relate to what they was going through. So if I can say I was there, and I didn't jump, and I didn't hang myself, how did you do it? 2 things that helped me survive, especially you men. Therapy. Therapy. We are so masculine. Men think it's soft and weak to admit that you feel and you're weak and you're helpless. Therapy was the best thing that I ever did in my life. Therapy is gangster. And a lot of strength. So I wrote the book so that I could help the person who is holding. There's people y'all know that are ashamed to tell y'all because they're going to do what people did to me. But I fought through it. You weirdo, you bugging out, you knuckle. No, there's nothing wrong with a person feeling like that because it's a feeling. So I wrote the book to say this. You can read all the psychology books you want. You can read all the medical books that you want. We got to push those to the side. We got to listen to people, and we got to understand I'm feeling hot, you feeling cold. This person feels like killing themselves. So if I'm feeling hot, what I do? Go get an air conditioner. If I'm feeling cold, we put on a jacket. We need to find out what it is. It's a person or it's a situation making that person feel that way. We gotta go the journey with them. From now on, y'all, when you know somebody going into rehab, because this happened with my family. When I go into rehab or when somebody goes to help themselves, we sit at home and we wait for them to come back. They're getting help. We're still the same people that we were when they were crazy. Yeah. So when a person goes to rehab, we got to go to rehab too so we can find out, how can I help them? How can I why do you think people relapse? Because they went and thought they had help and they come back to us. We're still the same. We got to add something to who we are. So I wanted to add something to the world so Chester and Chris and that little boy doesn't have to happen. And that's why I wrote the book.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. So we're out of time, so I got one more question for you.
Yes.
Will there ever be another Run DMC record?
I don't think, I just saw a interview with Hall & Oates. Creatively, yeah, Hall & Oates is still doing shows like me and Run, but they said we can't make a record because for the purpose of which we came together has been satisfied. Now for me, I got an album coming out at the top of the year featuring, check this out. Here's why I can't record with Run right now. I got a duet with Joan Jett. I got a duet with Sammy Hagar.
Nice.
I got a duet with Tim Armstrong from Rancid. I got a duet for Rome from Sublime. I got a duet with the Gorillas. So I'm really fulfilling my rock and roll dream right now.
That's awesome, man. We got to keep on. Well, listen, man, this was a real pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
We got this party tonight. I don't know if it would be cool if you maybe drop by and
I'll stop by.
do a few songs.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll come through and rock for y'all.
All right,
That's
awesome,
easy.
man. Well, listen, thanks, man. Thanks so much, man. DMC. Still got it.
There's a backseat lover that's always undercover, and I talk to my daddy, say, send your 18 till you're down on him, and it's sure to be a changing way. I've been a cheerleader.